Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dream Drop Long Distance, a podcast about two best friends forging their own path between the light and darkness of the Kingdom Hearts series. How have you been, Mitchell?
Oh, dude, I am still trying to find that path and which one I would like to travel. Maybe we can travel together.
It's a long and winding road.
Good God. That was really good. I've been good, man. I've been good. This week was very busy. But I was glad we were able to find some time to finish this game up, and I think we should just jump straight on in from where we started, from where we ended last.
Yeah, so it wasn't quite a cliffhanger or anything last time. It was a moment of watching Zexion, with his dying breaths, as it were, teleport away. And we cut to Zexion now, who is in the back hall, or a back hall of Castle Oblivion, moaning about the way that Riku wears the darkness.
Yeah, he's like gripping a wall. He's just freaking out, saying, "What is he? No one wears the darkness like he does." And then Axel shows up with Repliku.
Yeah, we pick up on that little that mystery that we had from Sora's side of the story. Like, what are Axel and Repliku doing together? And what happens next is weird to me, because I thought that Repliku was set on a good path by Sora and Naminé. And yet, here he is. I don't know. First, I think it's really funny that he scares the hell out of Zexion. He's like, "Oh God, it's you again!" And then he realizes it's the clone.
Yeah, and that was pretty funny. But then he's like, "Oh wait, yes, we can use this one to defeat the real Riku." Then Axel looks at Repliku and says, "Don't you want to be your own thing? You can start by gaining a power the real Riku doesn't have." And you can see Zexion's face. And then Repliku pins him and drains the life out of him, which is kind of haunting. And Axel just goes, "Sorry, you just learned way too much." And it's like, oh, he's using Repliku. He's totally using him.
For what? I don't know. I love that. Axel is such a mystery. I don't know whose side he's on. He doesn't take a side forever, I feel like, because I don't know what the point was of killing Zexion here. I don't know what the point is of charging up Repliku here, because what is it for? What is Axel trying to do?
He really is probably the most enigmatic out of anybody that we've seen so far. Like, we still, it's 2 games in, and we do not know what this dude's full intentions are.
I mean, 2 games in quotation marks. I guess you can count Sora's side and Riku's side as 2 separate stories, maybe.
2 different save files. That's all I'm saying.
You make a good point.
But then, we move into following back to Riku, and he hears this voice kind of calling out to him slowly, and he's looking around. And then he's just suspended in the air.
Which is intense.
Oh, yeah, like very just like arms and legs outflayed. And Ansem's voice comes out and tells him, "It is effortless for me to control you. And soon I will just envelop your heart." And just like earlier, this little light appears and pops into Riku's chest, and you hear Ansem yell, "Must you meddle again?" But this time, it is Mickey Mouse in the flesh.
Not a ghost, the real Mickey Mouse. No Jedi tricks here.
No, this is honestly one of the most adorable scenes so far, because Mickey looks at him as kind of like, "Woo, that should keep him busy for a while." And Riku grabs his ears and cheeks, and Mickey gives him that little like, like, oh, that, like, you could just like, oh my God, that tickled him. And he's just like, "Oh, stop it." And he falls to the ground. It's just been like, this was a very sad moment where Riku looks at him and just goes, "I've been alone so long. It's kind of overwhelming having you here."
Because just as Zexion was saying not too long ago, Riku has only been encountering beings of darkness, both within the memory worlds and outside, too, because it's only been these nobodies, these organization members.
Yeah, which, damn, that's sad. And then Riku looks at him and he's like, "Dude, how did you get here?" And Mickey says, "Well, I needed a way out of the darkness, and this card appeared." And he shows him a card, and the card is Twilight Town. It is the memory of Twilight Town.
Which raises so very many questions for me. I can't even begin to describe to you how many questions I have about this. How in the world did that card get there?
I don't know.
I've played a lot of this series. I don't feel like it's any kind of spoiler to say that you will never again deal with cards from Chain of Memories. These were a Castle Oblivion thing. You will never use cards again. How in the world did that card end up in the realm of darkness in the hands of Mickey Mouse? I mean, I have a guess, and it has to do with the character we're about to meet. But I don't know. But the other half of it makes sense, which is that Mickey's saying that the card was able to get him to Riku because the card needed to be in Riku's hand. I get that part. But I don't understand.
I mean, all hail the king, baby. I don't know. The dude has shown he has some immense power that we just don't quite fully understand yet. And I mean, he's on par with Ansem, for sure. If not stronger, because he seems to be able to hold him back.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. He's definitely stronger than that iteration of Ansem.
Yeah.
Or at least what strength that Ansem has right now. Speaking of Ansem, we take the card of Twilight Town, which, again, Riku doesn't recognize. He's never seen this place before. It's not even from an opposite side of his heart like it was for Sora. And his memory's not being screwed with, so he has no idea what this place is. Walks in, does not know. But when he gets there, there's Ansem standing there ready to meet him. Right, Mitchell?
Yeah, he appears and looks him dead in the eye and says, "You have to fight me all alone with my dark powers." And Riku actually squares up. But then he just drops his guard and looks at him and goes, "You aren't the real Ansem. Your smell isn't foul enough."
Different cologne.
Yeah, he freaking Ansem wears Poco Rabanne. This dude's wearing Ralph Lauren. I don't know, man.
I mean, out of all the different ones that you could have picked, I don't know. And see, now I need to go to a department store and smell both of these colognes to try and understand the reference that you just made.
I just don't even. I don't.
You don't think Ansem would be like a Drakkar Noir type of guy or like an Armani? I don't know.
He would be that guy who just wears a cologne that's like a really black bottle with like a gray lid that's just called The Darkness.
Right. Okay, now wait. Okay, this is such a weird tangent. I'm gonna cut a little bit of this out, but I think they made Kingdom Hearts perfume earlier this year. I knew I wasn't crazy.
I would not doubt that one bit, especially with how much it's been coming back into like, not that I don't think it's ever distanced, but I feel like lately a lot of people are replaying this series, and there was no way they weren't taking full advantage of that.
And it was the 20th anniversary for Kingdom Hearts, but like they literally released Kingdom Hearts perfume for Sora, Riku, and Kairi, and 12 years ago, apparently, they made colognes from Final Fantasy VII. So there was a Cloud cologne and a Sephiroth cologne. So
what?
I wonder if that's what Ansem wears, Sephiroth cologne.
I'm going to go look.
Boy, that's a tangent.
I didn't know that was a thing. Huh. Okay, we're way off the reservation. But if you have a bottle, like seriously, let us know if that actually smells good or not. I'm really curious if it was good or if it was just straight garbage. But so that version of Ansem actually reveals himself as this kind of robed figure with his head completely wrapped in bandages, other than his mouth and his one golden eye, and he reveals himself as Diz, D-I-Z, and he says he wants Riku to choose. He's like, "You ride between the light and dark, the twilight. Eventually you will meet Namine and you have to decide." And Riku's like, "Who the hell is Namine?"
Yes, for one, that's super cool. I want to really emphasize something about Diz here, and that's his voice. So we haven't been fully introduced to it because when this game originally came out, it came out on the Game Boy, and there wasn't a whole lot of voice acting in that version, or any. I might be wrong about that. So our first introduction to him is later, but he's supposed to be voiced by Count Dooku.
What?
Like Christopher Lee is the voice actor for the actual Diz, but for this one they used a different voice actor. I forgot his name, but who also is a voice double of Christopher Lee and does Count Dooku in the Star Wars animated series.
Oh, he was the voice actor from Clone Wars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's it. I did not even notice I mean, obviously you notice like you can tell a little bit of difference when you're watching the cartoon, but it's so subtle, and he doesn't have a whole lot of lines. I honestly didn't even notice a difference.
Yeah, this guy's really good. I mean, if you hear it blind, if all you do is hear his voice and you don't have anything to compare it to, it's like, oh yeah, that's Christopher Lee, of course, yes. But when you hear the two side by side, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a pretty big difference in the richness. But I think it's so cool that Disney / Square Enix used the same voice double for the same actor that the Star Wars series did. That was just like a weird thing that popped up for me this week, and I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool. But so, you go through the Twilight Town area and you show up to what I call the Twilight Towers Hotel.
That's a good reference for it. Yeah, it is haunted after all.
It is haunted. And Riku is like, I wonder if Namine's here. And he hears, hold it. And he looks back, and who shows up?
Why, Repliku, of course. A trademark pending.
Repliku shows up. And dude, he goes through a complete just self-identity crisis. Just really giving Riku everything. And then just finally looks at him and goes, as long as you're around, I will never be more than a shadow. And he pulls his sword out and lunges at Riku, and we get into this fight.
That whole interaction was very cool. It was also obnoxiously written.
Yeah.
How do you know? Because I'm you. No, I'm me. I'm me, he says.
There was a lot of back and forth kind of silly banter there that I'm choosing to skip over because it's like it's fun, but I don't think it wasn't really much to talk about out of it.
Yeah, other than to just laugh at it. That's all I really wanted to do is just laugh at it. Like, it's so ridiculous. But yes, you get into the fight because, for all the hopes that we had for Repliku being a potential hero at the end of Sora's story, this seems to be where he meets his bitter end, because Repliku is giving his fullest here. Like, he is holding nothing back, and he's using all of your tools against you. He can do all of the same things. He's got the Dark Aura. He's got the Dark Faraga. He's got the Dark Break. And he doesn't get broken out of his darkness form like you do. So this guy is tough.
Yeah, the fact that he can just run his darkness form the entire fight, I feel like was kind of unfair. But, you beat him, and he's laid out on the ground. And man, this whole little interaction is very sad. Where he's just like, death doesn't really frighten me. Good riddance to a phony life. I'm not even sure my feelings right now are real. And Riku looks at him and goes, well, what are you feeling? He goes, well, what happens when a fake dies? One like me, where will my heart go? And Riku says, well, maybe, where mine ends up eventually. And Repliku looks at him and goes, a faithful replica until the very end. And then he just fades away.
I think it's so interesting that Repliku believes that he has a heart, because the nobodies don't seem to believe that from what I've put together anyway.
I mean, he knew that his stuff was artificial, though. So he knew he had something there. The nobodies just know that they don't from the beginning. And so I think that was the difference between him, where he's not he realized he wasn't a nobody. He was a creation, and he recognized that. So in that way, he almost was in the in-between of the in-between, where he's like, I'm not you, I'm not a nobody, I'm a toy that got stuck in between the furniture.
It's interesting that he even so much as believes he has a heart, because he might. It makes it a shame that Vexen has died, actually, because if Vexen is able to create a heart like that, that's incredible knowledge that it's a tragedy that Axel had to kill him.
Yeah, that was said. He might have had more of a life, but he winds up disappearing, and we go into the Twilight Towers Hotel, and Riku walks into the room that we saw at the end of Sora's arc of this story, and who is there? tending to his sleep pod.
Why, of course, it is Naminé. And I have so many thoughts right here. The biggest one that I have that I want to address first and foremost is a question.
Mm-hmm.
A couple questions. Sora is in that pod, right?
Yeah.
He's in that particular pod.
That we know of. Yeah.
Okay. This Twilight Town is created from a memory, right?
Yes.
This Twilight Town only exists because of the card that was given to Mickey Mouse, right?
Yes.
So is this actually the real chamber that Sora is really in, or is this a replica of that chamber? I'm so confused. Like, is Sora asleep in a chamber in a world inside of Castle Oblivion, or is he asleep inside of the real Twilight Town?
I don't know. I don't. Because, I mean, also, whose memory was that card made from?
Right. There you go.
Yeah, I didn't even think of, that honestly did not even register to me, the idea that card wasn't Riku's memory. And it's like, it was given to Mickey, so it's like, who was it for?
And it was said to be from the other side of Sora's heart. There are so many questions that they don't answer here that absolutely frustrate me. Like, I can't answer anything here. I mean, I think we'll get some answers soonish, but like, whose memory was the card created from? How did the card end up in Mickey Mouse's hand? Is Sora in the card? Is Sora in the real? Oh my God! It just keeps winding, Mitchell. I don't understand.
We'll dig into it.
What we do know is that Naminé is here, and that as soon as Naminé begins to speak to Riku, Riku says, "That was you," referring to the doubling of Kairi, of her and Kairi back on the Destiny Islands.
Yeah, I mean, he recognizes her. I'm sorry, and he actually starts, like, I think he almost threatens her. He's like, "What have you done to him?" And she goes, "Nothing. He's just asleep. He's getting his memories back." And you can tell he kind of steps back a bit. And she actually gives him the choice to stay as he is, knowing Ansem will eventually come for him, or to forget his darkness by allowing her to lock that memory away as well.
Yeah, it's incredible that her powers extend that far, that Naminé is able to lock a heart from darkness like that.
Yeah, she is deceptively one of the strongest characters in this game series so far.
And it's all built on contrivances because they wanted to do a particular thing with this game, and they just ended up making a god to justify it all.
Yeah, but I love the dialogue here because Riku just starts digging on Sora for being lazy.
Yeah.
And kind of doing as he pleases. Talking about how when they were building the raft to leave Destiny Isles, he was like, "You just slack off and I had to do everything." And he looks at her and says, "When this slacker gets up, I'll tell him off. I told him to take care of Kairi. Look at him. He's here taking a nap."
Right. I love that line so much.
But then he looks at her and goes, "But I can't chew him out if I've been napping too, so I won't lock my heart. I'm going to face Ansem." And I put a note here that just said, I freaking love this character so much. Like, his character development is so big right here.
I like that that's his decision-making process of, oh, no, it's not that I'm saying no to this because I think it's the better thing to do to go face Ansem. He's saying no to this so that he can one-up his friend later.
Which is like the perfect best friend line. It's like, I'm not like shying away from this because I think it's a fight I can't win. I'm shying away from this because eventually I want to tell Sora that he's an idiot and he didn't do what I told him to do for like the 15th time. And then Naminé looks at him as just like, I wanted you to face the darkness because you're the one who can. And he looks at her and he goes, "I know you saved me because you and Kairi smell the same." And then he asks her to look after Sora and he walks away. And dude, that whole little scene was so cute.
It was, except for, it was cute, it was tender, except for the part where Riku says you and Kairi smell the same. I thought that was kind of creepy. I know that he's referring to the light and darkness, like, oh, your lights smell the same, but that it just sounds like he's kind of like creeping over their shoulder and like,
oh man, I didn't see
the same.
See, I think I think we thought about that two different ways. I get what you mean. It can come off as a little creepy that he's like, you two smell the same. But at this point, we've realized that like,
or just weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't find it like that. But no. So then you walk into the next room, and Mickey's there, and also Diz is there with him.
Yeah, and this one's super interesting here. King Mickey says that he thinks that he's met Diz somewhere before. And this is another one of those, take out your highlighters, take out your notes. This one, really important right here. King Mickey thinks he's met Diz somewhere. Ding, 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 ding. Write that down.
Somewhere in his travels, he has met this person. And Riku thinks he recognizes him somehow. And my favorite line, Diz looks at him and he goes, I could be nobody or anybody. It's up to you whether you choose to believe in me or not. Like, what? What are you saying? Like, no, damn it, be something.
Mitchell, you just figured it out. Diz is Santa Claus.
Or Satan. We're going to figure out one of the two, because apparently he's letting us choose which one he gets to be.
I mean, they're anagrams, so it makes sense.
True. I didn't even think about that. God dog it. So Riku's like, man, you really like pushing decisions onto people. And Diz looks at him and goes, and you've pushed away slumber, making the choice to fight Ansem. And again, it's just this like, Riku's like, are you supporting me? Or are you going to abandon me on this one? And Diz says, well, that's your choice as well. It's like, what? Why is no? These aren't like, he's just asking you a question. He's not asking you to make a choice, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Riku's just being kind of angsty at this point, which is fine. All teenagers do. It's fine.
Yeah, but really cool moment. He whips out and gives Riku a black cloak that so far up to this point we have only seen on organization members.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to mask Riku's presence from the nobodies and from other entities of darkness, but he chooses not to put it on yet.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines that he says is that this cloak will hide you from their noses and eyes, but not their ears. And it immediately looks at Mickey Mouse's big old ears.
Yes, I forgot to write that down. That was such a good moment.
That was, and Mickey just kind of, he looks at him just kind of like, huh?
Such a Disney moment.
Yeah, that was a cute moment. He winds up giving him a card and goes, you got to go and finish this whole Ansem thing. And Mickey and Riku walk off. And Riku tells Mickey, he's like, dude, I got to fight him alone. But if he wins, I need you to destroy. And before he can finish, Mickey looks at him and goes, save ya. Got it.
So cute.
And Riku looks at him and he's just like, it's like, there's no way I'm going to change his mind. This dude is going to try to save me no matter what. And you can just see this wave of relief on his face, knowing that he has a friend like this. I was like, best partnership in this game so far. 100%. I'm sorry to Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. No, Sora, Donald, Goofy. Mickey and Riku are top tier.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, it's that one-on-one friendship that really makes it here. I just don't understand Riku's decision not to bring a healer. He has no healing capabilities. Why would he do this?
No healing capabilities. I mean, Mickey does heal you, but also, dude, there's some of those fights you get out of, and you're like, oh, I couldn't use Mickey's card during that fight. I am at a quarter health, and I'm about to get into another fight. This is going to be dicey.
Yeah. So I don't understand Riku's decision making here, but okay, he doesn't want a healer. I guess it makes sense. They really wanted to make it hard.
Well,
but as you were saying, those little fights that you kind of wear yourself down through, thankfully it's not too terribly bad, because the map for Castle Oblivion here is like 3 rooms long, and then you get to the boss fight. And if you make one of those rooms a save room, you can heal up right before, so it's fine.
Yeah. And you step into Castle Oblivion, and Riku runs into the hall, yells for Ansem, and he's kind of just like, I mean, I'm here. I'm just going to watch you kind of fall apart, and then I'm going to come for you eventually, which is pretty dark, where he's just like, I'm not even going to come to your call. I'm just going to wait for you to come to me eventually, and then I'm just going to take you.
And so you run down the hallway a little bit longer, fighting through at least one new type of enemy, the Neo Shadows.
Which are
They're hard.
so annoying in this version. Yeah, man. And they don't skinny up. Like, sometimes they'll throw like 8 of these guys at you.
Yeah, and a lot of your abilities that you would normally use to clear these guys out aren't as effective because they go into the ground. Like, Dark Break is not super useful against these guys because as soon as you don't hit something with Dark Break, you can no longer continue using Dark Break.
That ability for them to go into the floor, I noticed it kills Dark Break. There's sometimes like they will go into the floor the moment you start casting Dark Faraga, which is infuriating. And also for whenever you go to use like Mickey Mouse Miracle to stun all the opponents, if 1 or 2 of them go into the floor while you're trying to attack the stunned characters, they pop back up and immediately start breaking your combos. And I was just like, dude, come on. I mean, once you really kind of lock them down, it's fine. But I mean, dude, there are some of those fights. They throw between 6 and 7 of them at you. And it's a long process to take them all down.
But thankfully, they don't make you suffer through it for too long. This isn't,
No.
All right, pick a hallway and hope that you're able to go down to the correct path to navigate the maze that is Castle Oblivion. No, you just 3 rooms and there you are.
I will say this level was great for level grinding.
Oh, I hated it. I chose not to. I had done so much grinding in all of the other levels. Like, usually what I would do is I'd go to every single room that I can and just clear my way through. And then sometimes I'd just like put on a podcast and do something else while grinding.
Huh. Okay. No, I mean, 'cause pretty much everything in this area gave a lot of XP. I mean, I was jumping up 5-6 levels within like an hour or 2.
Good stuff. I mean,
yeah.
You could do that in most of the levels, but yeah, it's pretty effective here because it's the most experience that anything in this game is going to give you.
Yeah. But then, you get to like those 3 rooms, like I said, very small world. And Riku comes into this hallway and calls for Ansem. And Ansem does appear, but he looks at him, he goes, dude, we are so similar. Why do you accept the darkness, but not me?
He wants to know, why does Riku keep refusing his romantic advances?
And Riku
his power. Why does he keep refusing his power?
And Riku kind of just looks at him and is just like, dude, you smell. It's like,
right.
I laughed so hard at that line. It's like, you smell. It's like, what? This whole dialogue, he's basically just telling him, like, dude, you stink. He's like, but do you not remember the power I possess? And Riku's like, yeah, you gave it all to me, and Sora still beat me. Which is like, it's such a hilarious dig. And then Ansem just gets fed up. It's like, all right, well, you know what? Then fall into the abyss, and just opens up this portal to this absolute like pit of darkness, and this fight starts.
Yeah, Ansem is reunited with his Dark Guardian.
Oh, I hate this.
I did not have any issues whatsoever with this fight. I am sorry to embarrass you in front of your family again. I had no trouble with this fight at all.
How did you?
Riku's deck is stacked. You've got so many things that you can throw at him. Like, you could just keep blasting him. His deck is absolutely stacked. He goes down like nothing.
I just don't understand that. I had such a hard time with him cheesing. He was breaking the majority of my dark power slights. That was infuriating. And then also just, I don't know why, like, I felt like his reach was a little unfair with his Dark Guardian, whatever you call that thing. And he just, like, every time I would get him to about a quarter to a half health, he would cast this slight where his Guardian would come up out of the ground just for a good, I'm talking a solid 20 seconds of just cheesing, just bam, just hitting you for health. And if he hits you, you just take like probably 50. I think I counted like it's somewhere between like, I think around 10 hits, like 8 to 10 hits. And I'm just like, what do you do at that point? Because he's breaking most of like your Mickey cards. So you lose all ability to heal. And I don't know, I finally beat him, but dude, oh my God, he was infuriating. But I think I was level 63. I don't know what you were. Would you beat him?
I think I wasn't too far from there. I'd have to go look at my save again. I took a screenshot of it, but I don't remember it offhand. I know I was not as high. I know I wasn't that like too much higher than that because my Sora save was 65 or 67. And I know I did not get as high level as I got with Sora.
Okay. I gotcha. But anyway, we wind up beating this guy. And he kind of starts enveloping himself in darkness. And he just goes, I will return someday. And he goes to like explode. But Mickey jumps in and saves Riku from the blast.
Which is absolutely incredible. What a moment. Again, though, of course, like, what would it be if Mickey didn't come in and save Riku from Ansem? That's been his motif the entire game.
I mean, Mickey is the best boy. He really is. I'm telling you, he is the best dude. That's the best companion.
I'll give you best dude. I won't give you best boy because that's Pluto. Come on.
Oh, I forgot about Pluto. Pluto is the best boy. That's really okay. Fine. Best dude.
But yes, Mickey saves him. They're back out, I believe, in the hallways of Castle Oblivion again, if I recall.
That and there's another kind of Mickey Riku moment.
Yeah.
Whereas they're walking, Mickey's kind of like, I thought darkness shouldn't exist, but I changed my mind when I met you, and now I want to walk that path together. And I was like, oh, dude, that is like ultimate bro moment of just being like, I at one point thought that everything like you just needed to be destroyed, but you have completely changed my mind.
It's so cool. It's Mickey, a being of light, basically, learning that darkness has a place, and Riku, who became a being of darkness, walking a path to redemption. And it's so cool.
It's really cool. And it's actually, I don't know, I thought it was a super sweet way to technically end this storyline.
Absolutely. From there, it cuts to Riku and Mickey walking out of Castle Oblivion out on that grassy path, looking like they're about to drop the most fire mixtape, cloaked in organization robes.
Yeah, I don't know. All of a sudden, they're both just laden in black, walking down the path we saw at the beginning of the Sora arc of this game, where it's just like, grass endlessly on one side, and they're walking down these dirt roads. And I mean, who do they run into?
Well, they get to a crossroads and they meet Diz. And Diz says, which path will you walk? Toward the light or toward the dark?
And Riku looks at him and just goes, nah, man, I'm going to take the middle road. And Diz kind of looks at me, he's like, so you choose to walk between in the twilight? And one of the coolest moments.
Do you want to do a read of it? I can do Diz and you can do Riku on it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you mean the twilight road to nightfall?
In which Riku looks at him and goes, no, it's the road to dawn. Which,
into simple and clean.
Into simple and clean. Just such a dope moment. I love his character so much.
They make Riku so cool. Like, this was worth the work of going through Riku's story. Oh my gosh, the way that they did all of this. I'm just like remembering the feeling of doing it, and I'm like excited and kind of glad I played this game.
Yeah, it was worth it. Honestly, it was all worth it for like the last probably 15 minutes of this game.
Which is saying something, that it was worth playing, what was it, like 20 hours? Or no, maybe not 20, but like 15 hours of a game to get 15 minutes of beautiful content.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the credits roll. And, you get the familiar, oh, cool, here's the things that you did along the way. And then, in classic Kingdom Hearts style, it starts showing you little vignettes of future events, things that are happening after that closing scene.
And this is the during the credits.
Yeah, mid-credit scenes. These are mid-credit scenes. So you don't get any dialogue with it. There's no real context given. So the first one you see is that Riku and Mickey are walking through a chasm that may look familiar to anyone who's played Kingdom Hearts 2. But we'll get there. Mitchell, did you recognize this location when you saw it? Where Riku and Mickey are walking, and this is the part where Riku falls down and like clutches his chest and then stands back up. So I remember it from like my very first playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 2.
And I won't go too deep into it, but yes, I do remember. I have an idea of where that is.
So that was kind of cool. I like that they kept throwing in little things that are, oh, this will be important. I hope you remember this for later. But yeah, Riku like doubles over and grabs his life alert, and Mickey checks on him, but they continue walking down. I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, it seems like Riku is still fighting something, maybe indigestion. Who knows? Mickey was definitely worried, but then Riku kind of gets up and keeps walking, and Mickey's like, all right, I guess I'm going to keep walking with you. And then we go to the next scene where I believe we're in Twilight Town, and 3 children walk by, and this young blonde boy walks past them.
Who we've seen once before. We've seen this boy once before.
We have.
In Sora's credit scenes.
We have.
So, okay, there's some kind of connection going on here.
Yeah, but unlike in the Sora's mid-credit scenes, in this one, as the boy's walking, Axel appears, grabs him by the shoulder, and pulls him along down the street.
And they go get ice cream.
They get ice cream. They're sitting on top of a clock tower eating ice cream. No idea what that's about.
Well, that's true. You don't have any idea what that's about. Oh, that's so interesting. I can't wait for you to... Anyway.
But then, the very last cutscene is you see Diz, which I think is huge, is that Diz and Naminé are standing at what we know, or what we think we know, is Sora's sleep pod. And somebody laden in a black robe walks up behind them. And we only catch kind of like the mouth of the person before it fades to black.
You also see their hair, though.
Did
you see the long silver hair?
I'm about to say, was it long silver or long blue?
My guess is that it's Riku, but for sure, it's got to be the same person from the Kingdom Hearts 1 secret ending. The person who is at the top of the tower that the cloaked figure ran up toward. The dual-wielding Keyblade wielder. He was running up toward a long-haired, cloaked figure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it definitely seems like that person. We don't know who it is yet. We'll see. It could be Riku. That would be really awesome if that is Riku, because that means he has developed quite a lot. Or at least looks like he's gotten older.
Yeah, I mean, my belief is that it's Riku, but I'm only going on the hair color at this point, because it does look like the same hair color. But if that's the case, yeah, it's big development for Riku.
Yeah, but then, I mean, and then there's this last part with this young blonde boy again, where he's walking through Twilight Town and interacting with his friends, or who we assume are his friends because they run up to him, and he's smiling and they're talking, and we're greeted by a line of text. Do you have it written down? Because I can read it.
Yeah, sure.
As this, the scene is going on, the text that comes across the screen reads, "Beyond the path without you is a forgotten promise to keep. We may have walked side by side, but now we go back to back. And though our paths may not cross, all paths are connected somewhere. When I arrive where you are, we may not appear as we were, but we'll make another promise to keep." Which, I don't know what did you think about that? Because to me, that just sounds like somebody's talking to him, basically being like, even if we may, two people are going in the same direction on different roads.
It kind of sounds like it's talking about Sora and Riku, but I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I have some suspicions of who it's about with a broader context of the game, but in this moment where it's acting as a teaser for the next game, I don't have any answers at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty open-ended who exactly they're talking about. I assumed it has something to do with that boy just because it's happening with him in the scene, but who knows?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. That does make sense that, being overlaid like that. But if that's the case, who is the other person?
I know. Who knows, man? But that's a pretty heavy moment, because then, the credits end, and that's the end of this game of both halves of Chain of Memories.
Yeah, I mean, can I just say I'm so excited that it's over?
Yeah, it's it was fun, but I do agree. I think I'm excited that it's over, but I'm also more excited that the next one we're jumping into is amazing.
I will say the big thing that I'm really thankful for is that all of the other Kingdom Hearts side games, like I know that we're jumping into a main game next, and I'm so thankful for that, but all of the remaining side games that we're going to play are going to be action games, not this business here. Like there might be some weird stuff that you have to do in menus that are a little different, but it's still the core gameplay is action. There's no card business. It is an action game.
Thank God. Oh, so excited. Yeah, I'm very glad to see this mechanic in our review mirror, and we can wave it goodbye, and we can just go back to the classic action that we love.
Yes, indeed. My God, man, we are going to play Kingdom Hearts 2. We are going to play Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm losing my mind just thinking about it.
Oh, I have been looking forward to this replay with you for so long. This is going to be fun. Oh, man. To the listeners at home, I mean, thank you for taking this slightly shorter journey with us down the chain of memories. And we hope that you enjoyed it and that you got something out of it and that you are going to play it, because it does have a lot of value in this series and sets up for quite a lot if you're doing your own playthrough along with us.
Or if you listen to all of this so that you don't have to play it, we don't blame you.
Hey, to each their own. But anyway, next up, we jump into Kingdom Hearts 2. And Kyle, dude, this was fun. I cannot wait to start on the next one with you.
Absolutely. Until then, everybody, take care. We'll see you soon.
Bye! Hey there, Kingdom Hearts fans. Thanks for listening to the episode. Dream Drop Long Distance is hosted by Mitchell Orsino and Kyle Bradshaw, and is produced by Kyle Bradshaw. Our theme music was written and recorded by Alex McLean.